Well, hi everyone. Welcome to the MAP20 demo day in incredible circumstances. Very grateful to be here and thanks so much for joining us all tonight. I hope you've managed to find your way around the platform so far, and I'll give you a few more hints and tips in a moment. But before we do any of that, we've got a very special guest that I'd like to welcome, and who's here to give us a proper welcome, and in fact a welcome to country. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Uncle Bill Nicholson of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people, and he's here to welcome us to country and explain a lot more about that and the reason why we're here developing on the land of his people today. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, look, thank you, Tim. And I would like to thank you for your patience with all my technical issues. So I appreciate that. And thank you to everybody behind this afternoon's event. It's a great sign of respect. For thousands of years, when people have gathered on Aboriginal land, there's been some sort of gathering ceremony to make people feel welcome, to make them feel safe, to allow them to conduct business in those conditions. So by your organisation and your mob, as we say, your people, incorporating a welcome, it's helping us continue our cultural custom. And it's a great sign of respect. So thank you. I'd like to start off welcoming you fellas in language. Language is the basis of anyone's culture. It's how you learn everything. It's how you express everything. Wiminjika, Gabamala Mangil, Barambun, Yalanbu, Wurundjeri Bala, Miranda Mudden, Vic Bill Nicholson. Welcome and greetings. Good day from the Wurundjeri people. My name is Uncle Bill Nicholson. I'm very fortunate to be an elected leader of my community. Now, we don't call ourselves politicians, we call ourselves elders. We use the title Uncle or Auntie to represent that because the family connection is the great strength of traditional culture. Now, if you were wondering what the terminology Wurundjeri or Wurundjeri and Woiwurrung or Woiwurrung meant, well, it's like your surname, your family name connects you to other people, important people, your blood. English is the language imposed on this land, so that's the language I'm speaking today. So Wurundjeri is the family and Woiwurrung is the language. We are part of a very large kinship connection called the Kulin. It's called the Kulin Nation today. I suppose culturally would be the better way to explain it is like a large kinship or family connection that took up a lot of, or basically southern and central Victoria. There was over 38 languages spoken in Victoria and over 270. But if you count all the dialects, you're looking at about 700 different tongues spoken in what is now called Australia. Now, our connection relates to our sacred river. You would know it as the Yarra. Some people call it the Birrarung. Barak, one of my ancestors who I'd like to acknowledge, call it the Barang. So if there's anyone here listening to me that resides in Melbourne, the suburb of Paran comes from Barang, which comes from Birrarung, which is the traditional name of the Yarra, our symbol of our physical and spiritual connection to this sacred land. Now, in our stories, we've got a creator spirit. You know, just about every culture in the world believes in some sort of God. Well, so do we. We call him Bunjil. He gave us the land to care for, the laws to live by, and life to enjoy. The 3 L's, I call that. Creating a very efficient culture. 2 to 6 hours a day to sustain your family, depending on what season. And we had more than 4 seasons on country. A very knowledgeable culture where everyone was taught knowledge based on their character and personality, which would then, as they became adults, would then benefit the tribe. Because traditional tribal life was like an engine. Every part had to play its part or it would cease or would not run. And the elders were very wise. They would see young children growing up, you know, their character, their personality, instill knowledge to suit that, and they would fit their place within adult society perfectly. And that's why we didn't just live here for 40, 50, 60,000 years. I don't even put numbers to it because our stories say since the beginning of time. So a long time. But we didn't just live here. We thrived here. What is now called Victoria and southern New South Wales was the most highly populated areas of Aboriginal Australia before Europeans' arrival. I've actually had a non-Indigenous historian say to me, and look, I've been studying my culture for 20 years. I haven't had a chance to study anyone else's culture. But he said to me, within the 1800s, Aboriginal people were living in some of the highest quality of life. So if you were living in Europe at that time and you weren't like royal family or privileged, you were probably battling and struggling to keep your family afloat. Australia was like this. This is what the English said when they arrived. Gentlemen's estates, English parklands, wide open spaces, expertly managed by my ancestors. That is why we ask people to acknowledge this land and the people of the land, because everyone today benefits of the knowledge and wisdom of my ancestors of this sacred land. Now, the colonial times were brutal, and that's putting it as nice as I could possibly think of. But I don't want to make anyone listening to me today feel personal guilt unless you act the same attitude. Australia is really based on white supremacy. As simple as that. Okay, that's the history of the country. Doesn't mean it's the modern. It doesn't mean what Australia is today. We're very multicultural. I'm not sure whether Australia can define its own culture because there's so many perspectives on it. The one thing I say to non-Indigenous Australians, there is a culture of the land. It's one of the oldest and efficient on the planet. We want Australia to feel proud of our culture, just like we do. And I really believe that is the base of true reconciliation. I'm the education manager at Wurundjeri. I get up every morning having to tell sometimes a very sad story because I've got to talk about colonisation or from a cultural perspective, invasion. But I do it to try and create positive outcomes based on reconciliation because 97% of Australia is non-Indigenous. 97% can do more than 3% concerning the health of country and the health of community. We just want to have a voice. We just want to be listened to in this country, and we want to build our opportunity for our communities to create self-sufficiency. And that in Victoria, that's through a treaty process. If you don't have a treaty, you don't have peace. Australia is the only Commonwealth country in the world with no peace with its Indigenous. Now, I'll just finish off. A welcome to country is a law ceremony. It's like a passport. We would offer you vegetation to symbolise your access to our sacred resource, the snapping of the spear to symbolise no one will hurt you, the offering of water to symbolise trust and respect, and the walking through smoke to symbolise cleansing of what we call Mura, pure spirit. It's a spiritual cleansing. Just like fire is a physical cleanser, the smoke and ceremony is a spiritual cleanser. So I don't welcome everyone to country unless you respect people, country and culture. And by Tim's great patience with me and my technical issues and your organisation connecting with us to do a welcome, I feel respect. So I'd like to say to you all, Waminjika Wallanjeri Bi, welcome Wurundjeri country. You fellas have a great day and a great discussion. And thanks again.
Thanks very much, Phil. Thanks so much for being here and taking the time. Really appreciate it. All the best.
No problem, Tim. We got it done, so thank you.
Okay. All right, we did indeed. So thanks, Bill. I'm going to go over to the audience now that I assume are there. I hope you're watching. So thanks very much for that. And we're going to get on with the show. So the first things that I thought I might do is just a few sort of quick tech tips and so on and so forth. Hopefully you've had a chance to see what the platform does and understand where we're going with it tonight. So for the next hour, we're going to be here watching this terrific stream and seeing the progress of our founders, hearing from our EIRs, our mentors, a few other people as well are going to drop by. So strap in and get ready for an exciting event here. You've obviously got your chat down the side. We really encourage you to use that. We really encourage you to encourage everybody watching here and give your thoughts on all the pitches. You're more than welcome. After that at 6:30, we're going to encourage you to go down to the expo booths where you can meet the founders in person. So when you go down there, you're welcome to jump on the stage or ask a question in the chat or any of that stuff. I think a few of you have seen how that's working in the info booth and the red carpet and all of that. So let's hope you have a great time there as well. Obviously, you can connect with people as well, either by the direct sort of connections on people, sending some messages, or there's that networking function as well. If you want to give that a go, by all means. But look, that's about it from me. I'm going to pop up every now and then, but we're going to get on with the show. And as a result, it's my great pleasure to introduce our Executive Director, Colin McLeod, to give some context around the MAP program.
Hello and welcome to the MAP Demo Day for 2020. I wanted to follow on from that inspirational and very gracious welcome to the country by acknowledging that I am at my house today, which is on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. If you haven't been to a MAP event before, MAP was the first university accelerator in Australia starting in 2012. We started that year with only 4 MAP teams, and since then we've supported over 150 startups who have attracted over $100 million in investment, generated $120 million in revenue, and created more than 1,400 jobs. And we're very confident the teams you'll see today will add to those numbers. MAP also has a pre-accelerator program called Velocity, and I'm very pleased to advise that with the support of Launch Vic, that from 2021 we are doubling the size of the program, and that means that we'll be able to help 120 early stage founders over the next 2 years. The other good news is that in early 1921, the entire MAP program and the Translating Research at Melbourne program will be moving to a new home at Melbourne Connect. This is a new innovation precinct on the edge of the Parkville campus that brings together the university, industry, government and the entrepreneurial community all in one location. I think we all know from international experience that innovation precincts can play a really important role in creating new jobs, new companies, and even new ventures. That was always the university's vision for Melbourne Connect, but I think we all know that that role has become even more important in a post-COVID-19 world. Of course, it's going to be great to have a physical environment where creativity and entrepreneurship can flourish, but we all know that it's people who make a program like MAP so successful. The achievements of MAP over almost a decade are built on the fantastic contribution of our founders, our mentors, our many guest speakers, our entrepreneurs in residence, the many alumni who have been through the program and now come back to help out the people who are following in their footsteps, as well as many of the members of the entrepreneurial community, both inside and outside the university, as well as our partners, including our friends and colleagues at the Wade Institute of Entrepreneurship. I also want to thank the team at MAP. I've got to say, running a 5-month accelerator program online, as well as the many other things that the people at MAP do apart from the accelerator program, is no easy thing. And so my heartfelt thanks to Laxmi, Tim, Natasha and Heath for all the wonderful work that they've done this year. And finally, thanks to everyone who's watching. Their ongoing support and enthusiasm for the MAP program is really welcome, and it means a lot to us at MAP and also the founders who take part in our program. I hope you enjoy the rest of the program. Goodbye.
Well, thanks very much, Colin. So the next guest is a very important member of the MAP team, perhaps the most important, Laxmi, who is the Accelerator Manager at MAP. And Laxmi is going to talk specifically about the program this year, how they managed in lockdown, and some of the really amazing stats about what we were able to achieve. So I'll throw to Laxmi right now.
Thank you, Tim. Good evening, everyone. It has indeed been a very different year for all of us. During the start of the program and as COVID struck, we were thinking, how are we going to deliver this program online, especially the cohort effect? As you know, that cohort experience is one of the best parts of being in an accelerator program. And I must say that we have surprised ourselves. With the support of entrepreneurs in residence, mentors, alumni, and our community in general, we have been able to deliver, I think, a pretty good and an effective program. And tonight is a testament to that. At MAP, it is about building a program that is founder-focused. In order to do so, we kept our program calendar pretty dynamic and focused on 3 things. Number 1, founder wellness. Number 2, accountability and one-on-one coaching and mentorship. And number 3, we focused on accelerated networking. In terms of wellness sessions, we had regular wellness check-in sessions every fortnight, in addition to monthly meditation session, which was brought by Peter and Kulvinder from Calm in the City to help us to take a moment to think, reflect, and to become a conscious leader. In terms of coaching and mentorship, we had over 55 mentors, and we had our 10 EIRs that work closely with our founders to help them in progressing their startups. And For accelerated networking, we had the opportunity to host some of the leading entrepreneurs in the ecosystem in Australia, where the founders had the opportunity to sit one-on-one with the partners and investment decision makers of some of the big firms or big VC firms here in Australia. This is an incredible and a rare opportunity for any founders. In addition to this, our founders also had the opportunity to pitch their startup to a close network of investors through VC Catalyst Pitch Program, and that was brought by Wade Institute of Entrepreneurship. I would like to take this moment to thank each and every one of you, our ecosystem partners, our investors, our mentors, our alumni, as well as everyone in the audience tonight. And what you see tonight is a combined effort or contribution that has been made by all of you. So thank you. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the founders themselves. The tenacity, resilience, and the support that they provided one another during the program is truly humbling. And the progress that you see here tonight is impressive, and it really brings into perspective what the program means for these founders. So we thank for that opportunity for making us part of their entrepreneurial journey. Last but not the least, I'd like to thank our MAP team, Natasha, Tim Bright, and Jeremy Crable, who worked extremely hard to bring the program to what it is today. And I would like to say special thank you to our Executive Director, Professor Colin McLeod, for his leadership and his guidance. And as I leave tonight, I'd like to focus on three things. Number one, we'd love to hear from mentors. We're looking for women mentors to grow and expand our Female Founders Program. We'd love you to connect with our founders. So after the live streaming is over, please connect with them at the expo booth. Last, we would love you to connect with one another through this platform via the chat or one-on-one engagement. Again, thank you for being with us and supporting our program, and thank you for coming to our demo day tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Laxmi, for that terrific introduction to give some context. Really wonderful to hear all of that information and put in context the progress that we're about to see from all the founders. So look, that's it. It's time for the main show. So thank you for your patience. I'm glad that we got there, and I can't wait to watch all these pictures with you. So stand by and we'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Saul from Atticus, and we're streamlining the review of regulated documents, such as prospectuses and annual reports. We went through MAP back in 2018, but this year, I've been lucky enough to support Dave and Sam at Scribe in their mission to shape the future of writing education. They're a killer team, Dave with his technical know-how and Sam with her deep knowledge of students, teachers, and writing. It's my pleasure to introduce Sam from Scribe.
Hi, my name is Sam. I'm an experienced teacher and the founder of Scribe, an education technology company. Our goal is for every student to grow into an adult that can communicate confidently and effectively through writing. It's an essential life skill, yet our education system is failing our students in this area, with the average Year 9 student today 1.5 learning years behind a similar student in 2008. That's an entire generation that will struggle to communicate effectively, and the impact on their professional and personal lives is profound. As a teacher, I witnessed a lot of time and effort wasted on approaches to teaching writing that just don't work, and I was compelled to create a better way that delivers exceptional outcomes for students and supports teachers. Teachers use Scribe to paint a complete picture of every student across 30 essential skills, not just a single score. Every student has their own individual learning pathway, and Scribe guides teachers on what they need to focus on in the classroom. Schools tell us there is nothing on the market that does this, and that's because students using Scribe are achieving 6 months of learning growth in just 6 weeks. We are the right team to solve this problem and have together designed, built, and sold Scribe into schools. I'm a teacher with over 10 years experience working within schools as a literacy specialist and have deep insights into this problem. David, my technical co-founder, specializes in developing digital models to solve real-world problems. During the 5 months at MAP, we have reduced the time it takes to get schools to trial from 3 to 6 months to just 4 weeks. Our team size has doubled, and we've moved from per teacher pricing to per student pricing, which has brought forward the development of our student platform. For the first half of 2021, we will be focusing on Victorian schools. During remote learning, many of the 500,000 Victorian primary school students have fallen even further behind in writing. Beyond that, Scribe is ready to support 4 million Australian students. And we're well positioned for international markets because unlike our competitors, we are 100% digital and support any curriculum. The Melbourne University and MAP community has opened up opportunities for us to talk to others working on this systemic problem. And we would love to hear from you if you have an interest in this area or if you know people in school, university or government sectors. Together, we can create faster and greater impact so every student in every classroom has the opportunity to fulfill their future hopes and ambitions and lead happy and successful lives. Thank you, and please come and have a chat with the Scribe team in the breakout room tonight.
Hey everyone, my name is Mladen and I'm one of the co-founders at Bindi Maps. The startups tonight have come such a long way since they virtually stepped foot in the MAP office. I've had the pleasure of working closely with Kanav Batra from Envision Labs, and I've seen him learn, grow, and it wouldn't be a startup intro without at least one buzzword: pivot to get Envision Labs to where it is today. Envision Labs have developed incredible technology which is allowing cities to end lockdowns and reopen their doors in a COVID-safe way. Now, I'm sure that you're all eager to get back to dining out and enjoying the nightlife, so I'm going to hand it over to Kanav to tell you how he's not only going to make this possible, but safe. Take it away, Kanav.
Hi, I'm Kanav from Envision Labs, and we are transitioning cities towards COVID normal. 1 million people will visit the city every day in Melbourne for our COVID normal. Imagine it's your job to ensure these people can move around safely. Imagine being responsible for making sure we do not go into another lockdown. What would you do? Almost every council in Australia right now does not know how many people are entering or exiting a particular precinct, how crowded certain areas are, and how long people are spending in those areas. And if our entire playbook for bouncing back from COVID is based on monitoring the number of people in spaces, we should at least have access to real-time people counts, right? But we don't. Instead, this is how we currently measure pedestrian levels and city usage. A manual survey a few times every year using a clicker. The data from this is incredibly patchy, riddled with human errors, far from real-time, stored away in a spreadsheet somewhere. And unfortunately, we base our entire strategy and investments for things like pandemics, transport, and infrastructure on data sources just like this. At Envision, we are changing this. We give cities and businesses accurate information on the number of people that visit their spaces every day. This allows them to make smarter decisions, manage crowding hotspots more efficiently and proactively, and most importantly, we are enabling cities to reopen safely so you can get back to enjoying the best of what they have to offer. So how do we do that? We've built an incredible device that counts the number of people in spaces, but it also tells us how crowded certain areas are and how long people are spending in those areas in real time. And this is what it looks like. It's about the size of my hand. It weighs less than 2 kilos and it plugs directly into your standard PowerPoint. We are supported by the Victorian Government and the City of Melbourne. Our sensors currently provide data to the Victorian Department of Transport. They went live on the train network earlier this year, and in just a few weeks, our devices will be live on the tram network here in Melbourne to make sure Victorians can move about in a COVID-safe way. Since joining MAP, we've built the incredible technology for our new devices and launched the sensors into the market. We've grown our government sales pipeline by 6 times. We're a team of dedicated engineers who've worked across the corporate, academia, and startup sectors before, and we know how to build both hardware and software. And tonight, we want to talk to you. We're asking for introductions and contacts into the local and state government spheres. We are looking to speak with directors and individuals working on the COVID recovery and response efforts. So please come and say hi and visit us in the expo booth afterwards to find out how we can open your city and business in a COVID-safe way. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Phoebe from Beyond Ag, and we went through the MAP program in 2019. Beyond Ag transforms food waste into protein and fertilizer with insects. And tonight, I'm super proud to introduce Cynthia from Diaper Recycle. The one thing that I really appreciated working with Cynthia as a mentor this year was her incredible curiosity to learn more. So, it's my pleasure to introduce Cynthia from Diaper Recycle.
I'm Cynthia, co-founder and CEO of Diaper Recycle. We're building a sustainable future using our recycling technology. We're recycling disposable nappies because all disposable nappies are a global waste problem. A baby can use around 49 nappies a week and they just go in the bin. In Australia, 2 billion go to landfill every year. They release 1.4 million tonnes of greenhouse gases, and if we wanted to offset those gases, we'd need to plant 30 million trees every year. We're using our technology to divert those nappies from landfill, and we're making new consumer products. We're the only business in Australia offering this service. So what's the process? People pay for their waste to be collected. We collect it and recycle it. The plastic goes to plastics recyclers, and we're recycling the fibre and superabsorbent polymer. Our first consumer product is cat litter. The beauty of our business is that we receive revenue with the waste collection, the sale of plastics, the sale of products, and also we'll be licensing our technology overseas. People will pay for the process, the technology, and they'll pay royalties. That way, all of us can make an impact, and we'll scale our impact. In Australia, there's 1.2 million people using nappies. They're mostly in the childcare, aged care, and domestic sectors. We plan to build 9 plants in Australia and expect to generate 21 million from subscriptions and 13 million from product sales. We also estimate there's around 300 opportunities for our licenses overseas. Over the last year, we've been working in our pilot plant, and in recent months during the program, we've added new technology to our custom-built technology, and that's given us 10 times the capacity for recycling and production than we had previously. So where to from here? We're ready for revenue and growth. In 2021, we aim to grow our team and set up our first commercial plant. We're really excited by the difference we're making with our impact. Environmental impact is embedded in our business, and we aim to make a social impact through employing people in need. We also meet 5 UN Sustainable Development Goals. I have experience in leadership, project management and business. Clark has worked in pulp and paper and recycling, and he's developed our technology. Oliver is designing the plants and also working on the technology. Right now, we're seeking more nappy users who want to increase their sustainable footprint. And if you believe in our journey, we're also seeking values-driven investors. To connect with us, please contact us through the contact form on our website. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Craybill, Chief Entrepreneur in Residence for the Melbourne Accelerator Program. Big congratulations to all of our MAP20 founders. 2020 was a very interesting and challenging year, not just for the cohort and the program staff, but also for our entrepreneurs in residence who all run their own full-time businesses as well. So a huge thank you to all of our EIRs. This was the first year in MAP history that we had 10 EIRs for 10 teams. And it went very well, and we really could not have done it without the participation and many hours in Zoom calls that all of those EIRs put in. So thank you very much. Also, thank you to the founders for helping us see the silver linings in 2020. It was a really interesting year, possibly one of the best years in history to do cold emails and Zoom calls, one of the best years if you're a founder looking at bringing new technologies to changing industries. That change was massively accelerated. And more generally, being early stage startups and being able to quickly adapt to the very rapidly changing environment this year is just something that large organizations simply can't do as well. So it's very interesting to see that happen this year. So thank you and congratulations to our MAP20 founders. We're all very optimistic that the foundation that's been set this year with this cohort is going to prepare them very well for the future, and really looking forward to seeing what all of them bring in the future. With that, I'd like to introduce our next founder now, Frankie from Scribe. So when Frankie came into MAP, he had quite an early prototype of Scribe and some really interesting big ideas about the knowledge management space. During his time at MAP, he was able to massively iterate through many product iterations, grow his beta group, and produce his first set of raving fans. And I would know because I'm one of them. I'm a daily Scribe user, love the product, and really looking forward to seeing how it evolves in the future. And certainly encourage everyone on this call to jump on to Frankie's early access list for Scribe and follow his progress through the future. So with that, let's turn now to Frankie from Scribe.
Hi, my name is Frankie, the founder of Scribe, your team's organizational memory. Every team accumulates a huge amount of knowledge over its lifetime. If you're lucky, it's somewhere central like SharePoint or a well-organized Google Drive. If your team is more typical, that knowledge is scattered across thousands of emails, Slack messages, and the brains of your colleagues, with most teaching taking place verbally or via messaging. As a result, this information will rarely be captured in a central location for easy reuse in the future. It means employee onboarding takes months instead of days. It constantly drains time from senior staff, and everyone who leaves then takes a big chunk of knowledge with them. Even if you have a knowledge system, it's difficult to keep it up to date and organized. Products like SharePoint or Notion give you the ability to create, store, and organize your knowledge, but that's it. They don't give you a way to request content be written. They trap you into a rigid folder system that makes it hard to keep your content organized, and they provide little to no help in keeping your information alive and up to date. Scribe takes a more holistic approach. We are focused on what happens before the content is written, after it is published, as well as everything in between. With Scribe, you can request content be written or record it yourself with our simple-to-use editor. Easily ask questions on any document and have peace of mind the document owners have seen it and are getting back to you. Connect any piece of knowledge to anything else so you can stop worrying about which folders something should live in. With all this and plenty more, Scribe will finally unlock a Knowledge Hub's true potential. Now, this is a massive opportunity. The team collaboration market is a rapidly growing one, currently valued at $10.5 billion US. Scribe is initially focusing on the knowledge management segment of this market. We have our eye on the 17 million software developers and their product teams, many of which are under or unserved by existing products on the market. Having worked as a software consultant to numerous teams, I have experienced the pains that a dysfunctional, underperforming knowledge base brings, and I saw a huge gap in the market for tools that could help teams manage this challenge. MAP has been a huge help in developing the vision for Scribe over the last 5 months. At the beginning of MAP, we had just released the first version of Scribe to a small group of pilot users. With the support of the MAP community, and in particular my mentor Jeremy, we went through 4 more iterations of Scribe, and along the way doubled the size of the users in the beta. While there is still plenty of work to be done, we are now well on our way to a public release in the first quarter of 2021. However, before I can make our goal a reality, I need your help. If you're in a team of 10 or more people and are struggling to keep on top of all your documentation and have some time for a quick Zoom call, please send me an email. I would love to hear what challenges you are facing day to day. Thank you.
Next up, I'm pleased to introduce Rhianna from Team Timbuktu. It was a real pleasure to have Rhianna in the cohort this year. She's someone who's been quite well known in the Melbourne startup ecosystem for some time and quite well known to the MAP ecosystem. So she's done business with MAP founders. She has worked with several MAP alumni and mentors previously. So it's great to have her in the cohort. It's quite rare to see in a B2C founder in a business like apparel, someone who understands both the sort of business fundamentals of what they're doing
as well as why their customers are interested in their products, as well as a social mission on top of that. And I think it really shows when you see what Team Timbuktu was able to achieve this year, some of the highest levels of growth in terms of sales that we've ever seen during a cohort. And we wish her all the best in the future. It's a great brand. I think you'll love her pitch. Rhianna from Team Timbuktu.
Hi, I'm Rhianna, the founder of Team Timbuktu. We're a sustainable outdoors brand recycling plastic bottles into clothing. Now, annually, the fashion industry creates more CO2 emissions than all international flights and maritime shipping worldwide. It's an industry that's been built off unsustainable practices, which doesn't make sense, especially for the outdoors industry. A couple of years ago, I was hiking in Patagonia, and it occurred to me that the clothing I was wearing, whilst being designed functionally for the outdoors, was made out of fabric that had a direct negative impact on the outdoors. There wasn't a brand out there that was designed for the millennial market that had an incredible online experience and that created products that didn't compromise on style or sustainability, which led me to the idea of creating Team Timbuktu. Team Timbuktu is a sustainable outdoors brand. We're an online brand who really understands our customers. We know that they love to get outdoors, but they don't want or need Everest-like performance within their product. I previously was an early stage employee at a snowboarding apparel company. I was responsible for their entire offshore production, and I transitioned their supply chain to be sustainable. So I've built really strong relationships with fabric mills that are creating fabrics from recycled plastic bottles to coffee beans and seaweed. They're the future of fabric innovation and far more sustainable than the industry norm of processing oil into fabric. Our collection consists of a curated range of jackets and activewear, ethically made from organic and recycled fabrics. This year we launched our first jacket made from 100% recycled fabric, and as we grow, we'll be expanding our technical outerwear collections. Through our focus on digital marketing, we've experienced a 50% increase in growth of our online community size, and also a 300% increase in revenue growth. We've been featured in Marie Claire and Fashion Journal, furthering our brand awareness and credibility as a brand that's creating change. We've welcomed hundreds of new customers and they're loving our products, as seen with the surge of reviews left online. And through our expansion of content marketing, we've really established ourselves as an Australian outdoors brand that encourages women to get outdoors without the pressure on performance or fitness. We've launched our first sustainability report, and to date, we've recycled over 75,000 plastic bottles. We're only weeks away from announcing our partnership with a recycling partner, helping us to close the loop and achieve circularity within our products. We've set solid foundations for growth and would love to connect with advisors within retail and fashion, and also connect with any angel investors who would love to join the journey with a raise plan for mid next year. So please get in touch, and thank you so much for your time.
Hi, I'm Adam from UMP's Help. UMP supports the remote delivery of care to older Australians in their own home using smart home technology, and we went through MAP in 2017. Tonight, I've got the pleasure of introducing Ian from Exergenics. Exergenics makes cooling more efficient and sustainable, with a focus on large commercial buildings. This year, Exergenics has been working closely with some of the largest supermarket chains and systems integrators in Australia to develop their cooling optimization technology. It's been really impressive to see how far these partnerships have progressed throughout the program. Without further ado, to share with you Exergenics' MAP 2020 journey, here's Ian Stewart, the co-founder and CEO of Exergenics.
Hi, I'm Ian Stewart, one of the co-founders of Exergenics. We're a software company developing data-driven control strategies for commercial air conditioning and refrigeration systems. So around 40% of a building's energy usage goes to air conditioning. And for a residential building, this can mean an energy bill running into the hundreds of dollars a year. But for commercial buildings, the cost can be in the hundreds of thousands a year. So with this kind of spend, it might surprise you to learn that a lot of the systems that control this equipment only take into account a fraction of the available data. We've calculated that over $1 billion a year is spent on unnecessary energy costs from poorly controlled mechanical equipment. To address this, we've developed an award-winning optimization engine. We start with initial data collection from the existing building management system, and we use that data to build a model of all of the equipment responsible for delivering cooling And then using that model, we develop a holistic approach to the control strategy for that equipment. This can result in energy and peak demand savings of up to 20% without sacrificing occupant comfort. If deployed in a large shopping centre, this would lead to cost savings of around $100,000 a year. So what's happened over the last 5 months? Well, we've had product development, innovation awards, and had a new member on the team. This is a rack refrigeration system at a Coles store in Victoria. This system's common to around 90% of the supermarkets in Australia, as well as many large industrial settings. Using data supplied by Coles, we have built an optimization engine that can be applied to all of these systems. We're looking to test this at 2 pilot sites this summer. Extrapolating the savings, this technology could save Australian supermarkets around $40 million a year. The industry is also starting to take notice. Our small team has managed to develop software which has won highly competitive innovation awards from both Engineers Australia and the Green Building Council of Australia, who collectively represent the entire industry we're trying to tackle. The Exogenics team has also doubled in size. It's now made up of myself and my twin brother Tim. My expertise is in thermodynamics and energy modelling, and Tim's an experienced enterprise salesman and will be running the commercial side of the business. With these very complementary skill sets, we've joined forces to drive the transition to a more sustainable built environment. And on that note, if anyone from any of our technology is applicable to a large variety of building typologies, so if anyone's looking to drive sustainability or reduce costs in their organisations, we'd love you to reach out and talk in the expo booth after. Thanks.
There you are. That was Ian from Exogenics. And it's terrific to see the significant progress that he's made over the program, and also the very important environmental impact that he has the potential to make through his platform. Ian actually began that research during his master's that he undertook at the University of Melbourne. So it's fantastic to see him be able to bring that research back, develop it further and commercialise it through the entrepreneurial programs at the university. So we're about 60% way through the live stream now. We've had 6 founders and we're going to bring you 4 more in just a moment. But we thought we'd take this opportunity to welcome one of our partners and mentors to the MAP program to say a few words. Colin and Laxmi earlier talked about the significance of the network around the MAP people and the MAP program, and Rachel is a terrific example of just such a person. Rachel is an investment manager at the Giant Leap Fund, and the Giant Leap Fund is a partner here at MAP. Rachel will explain a little bit more about what that means and why she continues to work with us as part of Giant Leap and as an individual mentor. So it's my pleasure to introduce Rachel Yang.
Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Yang. I'm from the Giant Leap Fund. We're a venture capital fund backing founders using business as a force for good, driving social and environmental change across 3 themes: health and wellbeing, sustainable living, and empowering people. It's really great to be here as part of the MAP Demo Day. We're really excited to be partnering with MAP on an ongoing basis and supporting the startups where we can. It's a fantastic program, and the reason we really partner with MAP is because they are committed to supporting founders who are addressing our most pressing social and environmental problems. They have similar themes to Giant Leap, and we really are impressed by the calibre of startups each year. They've also demonstrated their commitment for the first time in 2019 by relaxing the eligibility for social impact founders and really showing that they want to support those startups that are addressing our problems today on social and environmental issues. The reason I personally contribute as a mentor is really to support those startups and break down the barriers to seeking investment, and particularly shedding some light on what is impact investment. I think it's really important to democratise access to investment, and there is often an information asymmetry. So we do what we can to share that knowledge and to support the startups to grow.
Thanks so much for that, Rachel. And thanks for joining us tonight. maybe we'll see you around in the expo booths a little bit later, and look forward to working with you again next year on the next program, and for you to keep on continuing providing the support that you have for our founders this year and in the past and future as well. Thanks again.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to talk more to the founders. Thanks again.
And with that, it's back to the founders and back to the pitches. And I'd like to introduce you to another significant member of the MAP community, Mark B. Johnson, who, whilst being overseas this year, has still managed to provide incredible assistance to the founders and to us, staff members of the MAP program. So I'll let Mark introduce himself and share his thoughts about the program and introduce our next founder. Thanks, Mark.
Hello, I'm Mark B. Johnson, and I've had the privilege of working with the Melbourne Accelerator Program since 2014, most recently as Global Entrepreneur in Residence. This year, like everyone else, I worked remotely and was fortunate enough to be able to engage with the founders on a few occasions while leading virtual sessions from here in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's been great to see how well the MAP team, and especially the MAP20 founders, have adapted and persevered this year, given not only the virtual format, but also the difficult restrictions in Victoria, on top of the already daunting business challenges of running a startup. This resilience and drive will serve each one well on the next phase of their journey post-MAP. Now, before I introduce our next founder, I want to take a moment to thank Simon Murphy, CEO of Ref Live, a MAP17 alum, who was one of this year's Entrepreneurs in Residence and worked closely with our next company. Simon is unable to join us today, as he and his partner are expecting a baby any day now. So thank you, Simon, and it's a good thing you're an experienced founder and have mastered the art of working with little or no sleep. Now, as many of you may know, agriculture, like other industries, is undergoing a massive digital transformation. And our next founder, Jacques Lawrence, has shown great leadership and management growth during the program to will his vision of the digital-first future of farming into being with Mobble. Jacques, his co-founder, Jack, and their team have created a cloud-based farm management system to give farmers actionable, real-time data and analytics to not only improve decision-making, but also break down information barriers and enable better team collaboration and communication. Mobble has been one of the fastest growing companies this year, with over 300 customers to date, and by capturing the most important farm data in their first solution, Mobble's future is bright as they continue to expand their offering in this $6 billion software and analytics market, which is estimated to benefit from compound annual growth rates of over 30% through 2025. So to tell you more about Mobble and their focus on simplicity and ease of use with a solution built by farmers for farmers, please welcome Jacques Lawrence. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jacques Lawrence, CEO of Mobble, where we are simplifying farm management. I grew up on the family farm with two younger brothers, my mum and my dad. And for me, farming has never been about financial returns and big profits. Farming at its core has always been about family and the pride that our family has for the food we produce. It's that pride and commitment that helps us drive profits, not the other way around. But our farmers today are working more hours than ever, on the farm in the day and in the office at night. And a key reason for this is the static information in the farmer's top pocket notebook. Now what happens is after a long day's work, the farmer will come home and spend time in the office, reconciling those records. And they should be spending that time with their family. The other problem is, these farm records now stored in the office are not available to the farmer in the paddock, where important in-field decisions are made, resulting in wasted time and poor decision making. Now we at Mobble have a vision to enable farmers to make better in-field decisions that increase profits, productivity and sustainability with real-time data. And that's what Mobble is doing with its livestock farm management software. The farmer can now record data out in the paddock that automatically reconciles to the cloud, so no more evenings updating spreadsheets and more time with the family. And when they're back out in the paddock the next day, they still have access to that cloud data, their most important farm records, which they can use to make game-changing decisions then and there. We even go one step further and connect this data to the people that need it, breaking down that information barrier and empowering not just the farmer to make better decisions, but their entire team through access to Mobile. And since we started with MAP in early June, we've seen the trust in our farming community grow, which has translated to our annual recurring revenue growth of over 75% in that time. And this growth has been happening with a really low churn rate, which tells us that farmers love Mobile and are sticking with us. Just like Hayley here, a sheep farmer from Swan Hill, Victoria, who has seen so much value out of Mobile that she added to her operation. She's committed to becoming an investor in our company. Now, our current focus is in Australia and New Zealand, where there's over 300 farming businesses using Mobile today, a B2B subscription-based software service. Now, farm record keeping is a massive market around the globe. And considering just a few key markets in the livestock and mixed farming space, our serviceable market exceeds $6 billion of revenue per year. Now, COVID-19 is accelerating the adoption of digital technology in agriculture, and we are ready to take advantage of this trend. Because I know that our growing team is committed to driving that future. If I were back on the farm today, I'd be a fourth generation farmer, and I'm the passion behind this company and the problems we're solving. Jack Hurley, our other co-founder and CTO, is an amazing software developer with a massive empathy for our farmers. So if you want to help us have a huge impact on agriculture, please tell your farming friends about Mobile, get them involved, and together we can build a more productive and sustainable future for our farmers. Thanks for listening.
Hi guys, my name is Jordyn and I'm the founder of Mingle. Mingle is Australia's go-to healthy flavour brand, and we're shaking things up in the supermarket aisles with a range of all-natural products that you use to flavour your food. Mingle went through MAP's cohort in 2018. Tonight, I'm here to introduce Penny from Recoverwear. Recoverwear helps people get on with life with a range of adaptive clothing. Now, it was my absolute pleasure watching Penny throughout this MAP journey. And as Penny has experienced the problem that Recoverwear is out to solve firsthand, her passion, dedication, resilience, and work ethic shined week on week. I can't wait for her to also share the traction that she's made, both B2C and B2B. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Penny, the CEO and founder of Recoverwear.
Good evening. My name's Penny Weaver and I'm here today to present to you Recoverwear. I don't know how many people in this room have gone through something similar like this or know someone who has. I certainly have. But for pain post-surgery is quite real. And for some people it means that they just don't leave the house at all. And for 5% of patients, a potential of re-injury. Recoverwear has developed the first set of products around the highest level of elective surgery, which is hip, knee and shoulder reconstructions. So we've developed the pants and the boxer shorts for hip and knee, and the polo shirt and the t-shirt for upper limb injuries, head injuries and the like. Recoverwear is fit, form and function. It means that the patient can go from hospital bed to rehab to home to out and about without any issues whatsoever, improving patient health, mental health and well-being. But Recoverwear is also great for nursing staff. Better enablement of the patient means that there's less nursing time per patient, better engagement with rehab, faster discharge, and less re-injury rate due to tripping and falls, etc., and hyperextension. Recoverwear is the only adaptive clothing marketplace in rehabilitation. Adaptive clothing is well known, it's in other markets, and usually for a lot older demographics than the one that we're currently targeting, or all abilities wear. But that said, there is an enormous amount of opportunity in these spaces. And what we do know about the projections for adaptive clothing, there is an enormous amount of people that are not being serviced and not being looked after in the marketplace. Recoverwear is very, very proud to announce that we're part of the Good Design Award for Medical and Scientific and Social Impact. We're registered for NDIS, we've got our WIPO registration for the trademarks, and we're about to release our All Abilities clothing line around the world as well. We're very, very fortunate to have some very favourable press. We've had some really amazing traction of late. We're on the Every Human website. We're about to release Recoverwear Team. We're about to be on Melbourne Fashion Week, launching our wearable and co line. Additionally, we're about to do a joint venture with textiles recycling company Apparel, and we've been invited on 3 American marketplaces and 1 UK marketplace for next year. Additionally, we're part of the Alfred Hub Innovation Hub launch in November, and we've just done some testing with Epworth Hospital as well. In addition, we also have medical rebates in place. We're part of the rapid response for COVID recovery and clinical testings with some hospitals as well as some chemist trials. All of this would not be possible without our team. I am Penny Weber, founder and first user for Coupleware, and this amazing team with their skill sets just create a great complementary to our work. We'd love to talk to you in the expo and talk about these things more. And if we can help you, please reach out. Thank you.
Hi everyone, and welcome back again to MAP 2020 Demo Day. Really exciting to see you all here. Kind of sad that we can't see each other IRL in person, but it's great that we can deliver this kind of content to you digitally. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm Mish, one of the co-founders of Rain Scooters, and it's been my absolute pleasure to mentor Insight Infrastructure Solutions over the last few months. It's been great watching them grow and change over these last few months. It's been really exciting working with them. Also, they have robotic stuff. So if anyone knows anything about me, I love IoT, connectedness, hardware, just stuff you can physically touch. So robots to me, really, really cool. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce you all to Adam, one of the co-founders of Insight Infrastructure Solutions, to deliver his pitch. Please welcome Adam, everyone.
In August 2019, the Central Pier in Melbourne was suddenly shut down. All the people and businesses were evacuated. This caused $5 million loss in revenue and 1,300 people unemployed. And this is all because of one problem, pier degradation, caused by corrosion, marine growth, and cracks. Not far from those piers, there are vessels that are suffering as well. Vessels suffers from marine growth can increase annual fuel consumption by 10 to 15% per year. Currently, all these problems are fixed by divers, which is extremely expensive and time-consuming. In Australia, the in-water inspection and cleaning has the total market value of $730 million. By doing more frequent in-water cleaning, this can offset up to 250 kilotons of carbon dioxide, which is equivalent to 45,000 flights from Melbourne to Sydney. At Insight Infrastructure Solution, we're developing a solution that inspects and cleans in a much faster, cheaper, and safer manner. Since we've joined MAP, we've upgraded our underwater robot, finished our in-water cleaning trial at marinas, and the results show we effectively removed the marine growth without damaging the target surface. Last month, we successfully finished the piers and vessel inspection project at Port Melbourne, which were only done by divers before. During lockdown, we've also virtually joined the maritime program at Singapore, where we've connected with ports in Singapore and international shipping companies for future expansion. We've also lined up 2 other demos with 2 major ports in Victoria and connected with other major ports in other states. Our team are experts in machinery design and engineering design, and we're guided by 2 university professors. Recently, we've brought a new member on board who is the expert in maritime robotics field. We're constantly looking to hire more people, including maritime engineers and robotics engineers. So what's next for us? We're aiming to finish our demos in November and constantly looking for more in-water asset and vessel inspection and cleaning opportunities. From next year on, we're aiming for national expansion and $1 million fundraising. At Insight Infrastructure Solution, we have an ambition to change the underwater asset and vessel industry. Whether you're interested in working with us or investing in us, please come to Expo booth and let's have a chat. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Evelyn and I'm the CEO of SmileyScope and went through MAP in 2017. SmileyScope helps improve medical procedures through virtual reality. Tonight, I'm really excited to introduce Max from Strongroom. I've really enjoyed mentoring and working with Max throughout this year's MAP program. What I've learnt about Max is that he runs at 100 miles an hour, he solves problems hard and fast, and is on to the next thing. I'm excited about their vision and their platform, and truly believe that Strongroom is at the forefront of improving healthcare efficiencies while reducing medication errors for patients. So it's my pleasure to welcome Max to the Demo Day stage to present Strongroom.
Hey everyone, my name is Max. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Strongroom. Our aim is to create the world's most patient-centric controlled drug management platform. Before COVID-19, pharmacies were under a lot of pressure to dispense safely and quickly. Now, with all the additional healthcare precautions, the same task takes 3 times longer to perform. This puts immense pressure on them and particularly risks patient lives, especially those on complex drug treatments. At the moment, pharmacists need to identify patients on complex drug treatments, usually against an old photo. At this point, they'll need to fill out 3 different forms before they can finally dispense the medication. After this, at the end of each month, one person will need to calculate all the interactions that they've had so that the pharmacy can claim for the services that they've provided. This system is complex and time-consuming, and with the worst-case scenario, misread forms can lead to the wrong drug given to the wrong patient and potentially leading to an overdose or an adverse drug reaction. Consequences are steep, with medical licenses potentially being removed and heavy fines incurred. This costs Australia's healthcare system $1.2 billion per year. Strongroom's solution reduces the workload by up to 80%. We use AI facial recognition to quickly and securely match patients with their medical records and allow for pharmacists to input details only once, with our system doing the rest. Now, we reduce 1 hour of paperwork for pharmacists each day, meaning that they can spend more time with their patients. Now, pharmacies aren't the only ones facing this problem. Other facilities are as well, and we've counted over 1 million worldwide, making our market size at around 140 billion. Our business model is subscription-based licensing, with price differentiation based upon treatment type and facility. Now, Strongroom is also uniquely positioned in the market with our AI engine, integrated modules, and data, allowing for us to create unique features that further automate processes. We've also been quickly gaining traction. Since joining MAP, we've grown over 100% and have added an additional 74 facilities as our customers. We've also launched our seed round and are glad to have 30% soft commits to the round. I'm lucky enough to have started Strongroom with Chris and Kieran alongside our AI director, Dr. Saudi Vural. Strongroom is building a more automated healthcare system with less errors. If that's something that you're interested in, please feel free to contact me. Thank you.